Hey, what's up? This is Brandon Simmons for brandonsimmons.biz. This is my weekly video blog called Bullheaded, review the Houston Texans and their news throughout the week. So I'm tapping in about a week early before I actually begin the Bullheaded season, only because I want to kind of just make sure my equipment is on the up and up, kind of get my voice warmed up a little bit. Before I go into the 17 game season that unfortunately everybody in the NFL has to go through. So just kind of want to make sure everything is, up and up. I can stretch right. I can make all my mistakes on here and, be comfortable with making all my mistakes going forward. So not going to be here long. I just want to try to just come in, tap in on a couple of things. So next week, the season start. Week one, we're going to be, playing the Jacksonville Jaguars. And, they got all their things going on. But first thing I kind of want to tackle on and just kind of want to go over some things I'm kind of looking forward to seeing within the season for this season. So first off, the Watson trade. So that's been an ongoing saga since January, damn near. And for me at this, I'm gonna be straight up like. I think I said it in the last video I did, back in the springtime or March or whatever. Um, I wasn't really on board with like him going away, but at this point, I think it's every Texan fan is just like, let's get this over with as soon as we can. Will it happen this season? I don't know. Last week and a half or a couple weeks, whatever, everybody was reporting that the Eagles were willing to step up. The Panthers was coming up. The Dolphins was trying to get something going, and the Panthers they were reportedly backed out first. Um, the Dolphins, they seem like they stuck around for a little bit, but just like the Eagles and a little bit of the Panthers, they just quickly named their starting quarterbacks for the year, and excuse me, so relatively excuse me, too much HEB cola, so but yeah, so relatively like that relatively makes sense in a way. So because all three of these guys are new, so Panthers they got Sam Darnold. Eagles they're starting Jalen Hurts for a full season for the first time. Um, Tua, he started you know quite a few games last season, but now he's also starting for a full season this year. So um, I think that with that being said, they just want to see what these guys got first. Because you don't want to, you don't want to send something away and regret it. So, with that being said, I've looked to like maybe something going down at week 8, whenever the trade deadline is during the season, and I don't think that it might not be these particular teams, but let's say an unfortunate situation happens where a quarterback gets hurt and it's like okay, we got to come in and bring somebody to replace him. But also, what if there's other quarterbacks out there that might not turn out the way that they wanted. So in addition to the Eagles, Panthers, and the Dolphins, you got the Lions out there. They have Jared Goff. He just got traded over there this year. So, if he isn't the guy, that they're particularly hopeful for, then yeah, it could be a situation where I could see Watson get traded to. I think the other thing that's really holding this trade up is him being on the exemption list or whenever he's going to be accepting his suspension for violating the league's personal conduct policy, or if he's even going to serve a suspension for that. So you know how that goes. Things could things could go right for him in terms of the NFL and their disciplinary actions, or it could go completely left for him. And so I think now that we know that he's on a 53-man roster, he's definitely is definitely something that 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 suspension or result of the suspension should be a little bit more clear on where they want to go at this time. So um, next thing I want to talk about is oh yeah, so the overall performance of the team. So it's been a long time since we kind of seen the Texans just really in this particular position. Probably quite a few years that they've come into the season, and it just seems like it's just hopeless. And I gather that thought from the roster that was put together. Um, this doesn't look like a pretty solid roster. A lot of these guys are on 1 year prove it deals. And then in addition to that, we've already started to make some changes. Shaq Lawson, a lot of fans were excited about him coming on board, but, they've already shipped him out, for some picks or whatever. And so I feel like that's going to be kind of the norm for this year, in particular, and maybe depending on how things go in off season next year, it might be the norm, a little bit of the norm next year. Just bringing guys in, having them fill some spots. So we can, just push on through the season. Tyrod Taylor, he's been around the league for a couple times, and I don't have no issue with Tyrod, but I don't think he'll be the starting quarterback going forward past this season. Even with Davis Mills. Now Davis Mills, he might be on the team, for a couple years, but if he gets the chance to start, I'm not real confident in, how long he'll actually hold that starting job. So, and I think, with things like that that's going on, excuse me, more HEB color. Sorry. I just think like with things like that going on, it's going to make an interesting outlook for what this team can or cannot accomplish. We sat with the schedule for months, and I've seen people say everything from the Texans aren't going to win more than 3 games, no more than 2 games, and things like that. So it I mean, I'm not going to say I disagree with him, but it's going to be interesting to see if the team itself is going to rise above that and try to shock the world or anything. I mean, it's not equipped, to be a playoff team. So if for some odd, strange reason they back into the playoffs, then it's not gonna be pretty for him. So yeah, I'm just curious to see like how this thing will just actually play out. And so with that, it ties me to my last point, and that's about the coaching staff. So starting with the head coach, David Culley, all his years that he's been in this league, the things that he's learned, even just working with the Baltimore Ravens last year as a passing game coordinator. I want to see like how does how does he forge his identity into this team, and it might not be right away. Given the certain circumstances surrounding this personnel or this roster, but I would say like uh, for any coach that's kind of went through like what he's went through on a professional level, and especially being your first job, I got to give him credit for that. It didn't seem like he was shaken up or anything like that, and he couldn't be. It's his first year, so he kind of held it down because he had to. But now that all of that, all the quarterback drama is like kind of dying down, and things are looking a little bit more clear than what they were before. I think he's really, gonna. I think this team. I think I'm interested in the seeing like how he has a grasp on this team and how they're going to perform or respond to him. Same thing with Lovey Smith. And I bring him up because a lot of people have been bragging about the defense, and they have been great this preseason on each and every level. On the twos, the starters, the threes, or whatever. Those guys have been, they really balled out, I believe, in this preseason. And so, I remember one of the analysts were talking about, one of the priorities for the defense was to force more turnovers. And lo and behold, each week it seems like that this defense has picked up like a turnover each week, whether it's a pick six by Lonnie Johnson or, just just a regular interception to seal the game off by some of the second or third stringers. So it's going to be real interesting to just see how this defensive unit, in addition to like this whole team, just responds to this coaching staff this year, and I'm definitely looking forward to that. So that's all I got for y'all this week. I'm Brandon Simmons for brandonsimmons.biz. Holla black.